When you go to start the process of designing a level, the first thing you actually need to know is what's the purpose of the space? Because you can build the biggest, most elaborate, beautiful level in the world, but if there's nothing in it to give it life, then it might as well just be a painting at that point. I mean, it'll be lovely, but that's not why we make games, right?
All the puzzles in the game actually come from an aspect of describing how the world works in certain ways and how people used to or might have interacted with the world in certain ways. Everything from there kind of stems and branches out. Art comes to support it, level design comes to support that idea, as well as puzzles come to support all the different ways we can communicate those ideas. And everything, again, is communication about the why we're doing what we're doing.
A big part of what we're trying to do on the art side is to make these spaces make sense in the minds of the characters who inhabit them. So level design will tell us that they want to be moving through a hallway and then into a room and then across a bridge. We have to take every step of those hallways and the rooms and use those as opportunities to play up who the character is. From the minute they enter the map room for the Watcher Tower, we're using the environment to tell a story about who the Watcher is, how he is utilizing his own technology in the map room. When you come into this space, we're going to see gears, we're going to see sharp metal, we're going to see rusty metal surfaces, bent metal, machinery. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do, is have not all of the story be told through dialogue or characters, but to have it just be you in a room looking around. We want that to also be able to tell a story.
In terms of lighting the space, I think the biggest thing I'm always thinking about is how to bring more depth to a scene. In VR, I think it's even more important to create a sense of parallax or layered depth through the lighting.
The interesting thing about VR is that it's very easy for a space to feel too big. You can quickly get to a point where people are having to blink a lot, they're having to traverse through a space. So a big part of what we have to do is to make a space feel bigger than it actually is.
In every area, we're trying to give that sort of three-plane depth field for the user. I think it's really important in VR, especially because if you don't have that, you start to lose a sense of depth. So we're always trying to build in these layers, this depth layering.
The levels in EP2 are going to differ from the levels in EP1 in a couple of very important ways. The most important of which is that EP2 is intended to be a much more open world, sandboxy experience where players will be able to go back and forth between places and discover new things about those spaces as they progress through the game. So it becomes more than just sort of sequentially creating this chain of pearls that are each little nugget of puzzly goodness. You end up with one big puzzle that fits together in these huge and interesting ways that hopefully creates a sense of interest and epiphany and wonder when people sort of go, oh, that thing from way back there, that's actually part of this bigger thing that is a part of that other thing I saw previously. So in VR, the way it makes it all different is we need to make sure that you constantly have very good vantage points to solve all of these puzzles and to see exactly what you need to. And that if we're going to make you explore, we need to make sure it's always worth your while to do so.